As women, if we've got trauma, we go and talk to psychiatrists. Talking about it over and over and over and over again just brings the emotion back to us and we feel it worse. So we need to just look at what is it that we feel when that happens. What does it make us not do? What does it make us do? How does it make it think about ourselves? How does it make us think about the world? Once you believe differently, like you then able to take the actions, the required actions you need to be successful. If you have a belief that you're not good enough, or if you have a belief that money doesn't grow on trees, if you believe them, then you're not going to attract money or success or anything that you actually want in life, your goals. It doesn't have to come down to money. It can come down to anything that you want out of life. So until you can transform, if you actually do in your heart believe that I'm good enough, I am worthy, I'm amazing, then you can actually then attract what you need. Once you can transform how you feel about yourself, you can do anything.
Hey there, I'm Kaylin Wood, and this is Money Matters for Moms, the show where busy moms turn overwhelm into abundance. Each week we'll talk side hustles, saving hacks, wealth tips, and some energy tips to help make it all stick. Real tools for real financial freedom. No ramen required. I'm here with Karyn De Mol. She's a certified public accountant and an empowerment expert. She specializes in overcoming self-sabotage. Karyn, also known as Kaz, helps women to overcome the secret fears and beliefs that hold them back. Her award-winning book, Eating Secrets, helps others who struggle with emotional eating. So Kaz, how did you come to write a book on overcoming binge eating?
I met up with another woman I knew and we decided we wanted to do something together. So talking to each other, we realized we both had a problem with emotional eating. So we decided to collaborate and actually write the book together. And it was quite an experience putting that together and then winning 10 awards. We were like, what the? So over the moon to actually win all those awards. So it's very much a book to actually help people with sabotaging their emotions. And the reasons why we emotionally eat is because of the things that happened in our past. We use food to soothe. And it's not about dieting. Like dieting actually just causes more problems. And Megan's thing was that she actually stopped eating and over-exercised, whereas I tend to use food. And even as I went through a cancer journey recently, I turned to chocolate again. So you still have these habits that you go back to, even when you know what to do. So it's very much just something that you kind of do to actually make you feel better about yourself. And there's different methods you can do to actually overcome that. But then it's something you have to keep doing every day and taking note, being aware when you actually turn to chocolate or turn to some other way to sabotage yourself. So it was amazing to write a book together. I might do another one soon, but haven't quite sort of decided on that yet.
Well, we've all heard the saying, fake it till you make it, but I know you do not agree with this. So why is it a bad idea?
Yeah, so for women especially, fake it till we make it. We have 25% more head-to-heart connection. So when we are told to fake it till we make it, we're actually starting to believe that we're not good enough. It just drives home that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, that we can't do things. So fake it to make it as a woman does not ultimately lead to success. Quite often when you're told to go up and public speak, fake it till you make it, get up there, but you don't actually believe what you're saying. And when you don't believe, you're never actually going to follow through. You're always going to stop yourself from actually driving and getting the success you want. Because until we can look at the reasons why we're not being able to achieve the things we do, which is quite often to do with traumas from our past. It's to do with beliefs that we have. It could even be beliefs that we've been passed down from our parents that we hold on to. And until we can actually let those beliefs go or transform those beliefs into something that's actually more believable and that we will believe, then faking it till you make it just drives home that you're not good enough. It just drives more fear for us as women.
So how can healing trauma and the emotions that it causes help with that?
So when we have traumas, and this also led towards the book and everything as well too, when we hold on to traumas that have happened in our past, like I grew up, I lost my father when I was 10. I actually lost a stepfather again when I was 15. I lost my mother when I was 30. All these things happen to us and we decide something at that time, something has happened. Now, you can have two people in the same family who go through the same experience and they will react certain different ways. So we need to look at what beliefs have been formed due to our traumas. And those traumas do not have to be big traumas. Like one of my traumas I wrote about in the book was actually an auntie who was just a friend of the family saying, you shouldn't be wearing a bikini because you're too fat. And 7 years off, you're not fat. Come on. So these traumas can be little traumas. Someone said something and you've attached a belief to that, which has actually caused you to then not believe in yourself or not be able to do something because of what that belief has formed in your head. And especially if it's formed at a very young age, we find that your mind will find something in the future to drive home that belief until you can transform that belief into something that will allow you to then let that go and believe something different. Because beliefs can be changed. Beliefs can be changed, but you have to find the way for them to be changed and transformed where you'll actually believe it.
And so if you're able to transform those things, what does that do to your financial success?
Once you believe differently, like, all our beliefs that we're not good enough, we're not worthy, all that self-esteem stuff that we have, you're then able to take the actions, the required actions you need to actually be successful. If you have a belief that you're not good enough, or if you have a belief that money doesn't grow on trees, any of those sort of beliefs, if you believe them, then you're not going to attract money or success or anything that you actually want in life, your goals. It doesn't have to come down to money. It can come down to anything that you want out of life. So until you can transform to you actually do in your heart believe that I'm good enough, I am worthy, I'm amazing, then you can actually then attract what you need. So, you do money attraction and look at money blocks. So I'm sure you're so much aware that so much of it comes down to the self-belief, as well as the blocks that they've designed through what their parents have taught them. But it is very much, once you can transform how you feel about yourself, you can do anything.
So even if you don't remember what the trauma was, you can just work with the symptoms of it.
Correct. And it's the symptoms of how does it make you feel? Actually, as women, if we've got trauma, we go and talk to psychiatrists and stuff. Talking about it over and over and over and over again just brings the emotion back to us and we feel it worse. So we need to actually just look at what is it that we feel when that happens. What does it make us not do? What does it make us do? How do we react? How does it make us think about life? How does it make it think about ourselves? How does it make us think about the world? When we can transform that, that's when it actually changes. And you don't need to know what it is. Be aware that you have a problem, then look at the ways that you can actually shift that. And that's what I do with women specifically, because I believe women need a process that is specific for them because we think differently than men. And most of the processes are designed by men, and they do all have their place. I'm trained in a lot of things, but I love working with women because I can see them transform within a 2-hour session.
And how do you help them to transform?
It's a very nice little process that we do with them, and it's eyes closed, where they get the learnings in relation to how they feel about that emotion or that belief. So they're transforming from inside with their unconscious mind, and in a way that they don't have to know what the trauma is. They don't need to relive it. They just have to get the learnings and then see how their shifts have changed, how they see life, how they see others, and how they see themselves. And then that actually then shifts so they actually feel completely different. And then you can even ask him, but you said this. No, I would never have said that. So that's why I love that process so much, for women to actually see them transform within as little as a couple of weeks. And then once you've transformed how they feel about themselves, I think we both realize we love affirmations. I believe affirmations are fabulous, but until we actually believe them, which means we believe and trust in ourselves, then the affirmations are just like running off our back like duck's water, because we're never going to believe them unless we're free of the trauma, free of the beliefs that are actually holding us back. And there's other things that come into play, our values in life, and do those beliefs contradict with our values? So there's a lot of things you've got to look at, but do things in the right order. You need to look at what's holding them back and the actual beliefs and transform those. Then you can start looking at and aligning everything up and looking at affirmations, and also then teach them to take action. Because you can sit there and, try and attract as much money to you as you want, but until you've cleared the things from behind, you're afraid to take the action. So it's like a catch-22.
So you clear the traumas, and then you step into self-confidence, and then your financial situation changes.
Correct. Once you take action. So you might need to speak to someone to help you, or have a coach or someone to support you to take those action steps. There's so many programs out there with people like yourself that can actually help them take those steps in that as well too. So you have to find the right people in your life for the right stages that you're in, and then move forward.
But that first stage of getting rid of the traumas and then developing the self-confidence.
The biggest thing before you even clear the traumas is become aware. You need to be aware that there is a problem. you need to be aware that there's something holding you back. Once you can become aware of that, then you can start looking at what you need to do. So creating yourself with confidence is changing those thought processes that we have about ourselves. And, one of the biggest things is you can journal, you can do different things to become aware and then look at your values and look at your beliefs. But then you need to look at a way to actually transform them.
And then after transforming them, then take the steps that you need to.
Correct. The very first thing they need to do is become aware. If they are busting their gut, trying to attract more money, or they're trying to build a business, you need to be aware that if you keep taking action when you are not quite believing that you will be successful, then you're just chasing your tail and you're going to burn out and you're going to feel an imposter. And imposter syndrome is just a carry on from fake it till you make it. So becoming aware is the biggest thing, and then look at ways to actually transform that. So journal. As I said, I love journaling because that's when you actually find the thoughts that come out of your mind that you didn't actually know were there until you read on paper and go, oh my God, was I thinking that? So journaling is a great way for that awareness, and then reach out to someone who can actually help you with helping get through those blocks or taking that next step. If you've already cleared the blocks, who's the next person that can actually help you move forward? But awareness is that very, very, very first step.
Excellent. So if you had to pick one thing, what's the one thing that you would love women to know?
That they don't have to do it alone. They don't have to keep fighting with themselves. They don't have to listen to that head chatter in their mind saying to themselves, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. There's something wrong with me. All these things that we say to ourselves when things aren't going our way, we blame ourselves. And we need to stop that, because we talk to ourselves the way we would never talk to a friend. We need to be kinder to ourselves and notice and be aware that we have this head chatter going on, and then find out how you can actually transform that head chatter.
I love that. That's really powerful stuff. So thank you so much. It's been wonderful talking with you.
Thank you very much, Kaylin. I enjoyed being here.
Thanks for tuning in to Money Matters for Moms. I hope today's episode left you inspired to take one little step forward. Check out the resources in the show notes and share this with another mom who's ready to thrive. You've got this, because abundance is easier than you might think.